Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I want to sit down and reflect on my own personal guitar journey, my guitar gear journey, and talk about, yes, as the title of this video suggests, I haven't used a tube amplifier in a year. Now, before we dive into today's topic at hand, be sure to follow me on Spotify, be sure to like this video that you're watching, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. We are so close to 90K subscribers at the time of this video being uploaded, and that's a huge honor, and I am super thankful for every single one of you. So if you haven't subscribed yet, it would just mean a lot, and yeah, thank you so much in advance. Enjoy the video. Now, upon doing some R&D for this video, to the best of my knowledge, I only really used a tube amplifier maybe once or twice. Once was a shootout against the MT100, and also two for an EQ2 pedal for Sweetwater. So I wanted to use a real tube amp to showcase that product. But in terms of like my own creative process and like coming up with something original or playing a show or any sort of endeavor, I really have not turned this thing on and used it other than, like I said, a demo or two for Sweetwater. So the last time I really extensively used my Marshall JVM was I was on tour with a band. I was hired for a job for about 2 or 3 weeks on tour across like the Midwest and the Northeast here in the United States. And then as soon as I came home, this thing just became a cool backdrop. This is in fact my Marshall JVM 50 watt 2-channel head, my favorite amplifier of all time. I truly believe that. Like, sounds absolutely amazing. But, you know, with that being said, I still haven't really been using it that much. And all I've been using anymore, everybody, is two things. Plugins, one, and two, my Neural DSP Quad Cortex. And so in this whole journey of not really using a tube amplifier, what did I discover? Well, a lot of things. First things first, whenever I create my own original music or my own original riffs or anything that I just get into my head and then translate it and transpose it onto the guitar fretboard, I'm always using a plugin. And that's for a lot of obvious reasons. One, it's way faster than to turn this thing on, set up a mic position, you know, line check, tone check, you know, level check, everything, man. Like, that just takes forever versus just plug my guitar into my computer, turn on an amp sim, and let it go. And that whole process of just plugging in and playing just really personally for me keeps that creative spark alive, because whenever you're creating something, you guys who write your own music, write your own riffs, you know this, like, you gotta like capture it. At least I do. I feel like I gotta capture it while it's in my brain, while it's there, because in an instant it disappears and then like you can never really get it back. At least that's my own experience. So to try to use an amplifier in a creative setting, for me personally, is so counterintuitive and so not helpful, for a lack of a better description, because it just takes so much time and effort and energy to not only set this thing up, but also to make sure it's going to sound good because of all the different variables that could come into play when recording. Not to mention, this thing's loud as dude. Like, I can't hear the click, or, you know, Superior Drummer 3, for example, when I'm, you know, got this thing next to me and I got it blasting in the room, right? Like, I can't hear So, obviously, it's not the most effective way to record yourself, because it is just, you know, ripping loud. And there's a time and a place for that, which I'll talk about here in a second. But, creatively, you know, amp sims are the way to go, in my opinion. Now let's just address that bullet point and knock it out right here. There is nothing better than a stack, a tube stack, just like roaring in the room, right? I think we all can agree. Like, an amp sim versus this, in terms of like inspiration, in terms of fun, in terms of just like sheer firepower, nothing can beat this. Like, I think we're all in agreement with that, right? But is the juice really worth the squeeze? Especially with creating? Not really, right? But in a live setting, in a band setting, this is the shit, and I think it always will be the shit. However, it's just interesting, and I guess time will tell as more bands, again myself included as a live player, more people are shying away from this, and it's just, you know, like I said, time will tell. We'll see, like, you know, how long these things will be around. I think they'll be around for a long time. But anyway, kind of rambling here. What I'm saying is, like, long story short, I hope I made sense with all that. This is the bread and butter. This is the bee's knees. This is the cat's pajamas. But, you know, it's fucking loud, dude. And you know what, let's just talk about the live setting real quick. In 2023, I did 2 US tours. One with this Marshall JVM, and then one with my Neural DSP Quad Cortex. In both of these scenarios, I did have a cab on stage pushing air, a nice 4x12. The Quad Cortex was using a power amp to power the cabinet, and then this thing obviously just moves air like it's nobody's business. So, in all that, comparing and contrasting to my ears and my experience, I personally could not give a about which one I would use more. They both sound absolutely amazing. Especially at ripping volumes, like in a live setting at a show. Dude, like, they all sound good, man. Like, head rushes, quad cortexes, Kempers, tube amps, solid state amps, pedals, like, they all just sound super sick, man. And I really don't understand people's arguments of, like, tube amps sound so much better than X, Y, and Z live. Like, I hear you, but personally, I can't tell the difference. It is just too loud to even like have an opinion. It's like, I feel like I'm in, you know, the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan, like, woo! Like, it's all loud, it's all sick, but like the little nuance, man, I don't know. Sometimes I think that's just like guitar, you know, ego lingo speaking. So anyway, like I said, man, in my experience, live at deafening volumes, I can't tell the difference, and that is a good thing for everything across the board. Tube amps, pedals, you know, modelers, whatever, man. Like, it all sounds great to me. But one final thing I do want to address is in reference to a video I made probably about a month ago at the time of this filming and this video being uploaded, and that was guitar trends that are dying. I said in that video, tube amps are dying, and I found it really interesting how that was the bullet point that got the most attention and the most flack and hate, I guess we'll say. And I found it interesting how it just seemed like tube amplifier players felt as though like their prized possessions were being somewhat threatened, and like I was attacking their personal beliefs. I found that interesting. I'll say right here, like, I love tube amps, and I don't want them to ever go away, but keeping up with the times, like, things just aren't what they used to be, and unfortunately, we just have to move on and evolve as players, as a species, as, you know, the human race, right? You know, being all dramatic. But anyway, man, yeah, dude, like, I just found it interesting. Like, I don't know how anybody could disagree that tube amps, like, I don't know how anybody could say that tube amps aren't dying. Like, I don't understand how you can make that argument. There's a lot of them, and, you know, there's a lot still being made, but the younger generation, myself included, and players even younger, are just going for, like, plugins and modelers and just anything that's cost-effective, smaller, quieter, and just more efficient. And again, if you guys disagree with me, that's totally fine. I love you all the same. I'm not here to, like, make you like me or change your mind. Like, we're not arguing, we're just discussing. I found it interesting how, like, a lot of players felt more or less threatened, I would say, because I said tube amps are dying. That's just my opinion. Anyway, just wanted to address that. But all in all, everybody, in a year without really using a tube amplifier, do I miss it? Yeah, dude. I wish I could have 10 of these on stage or something like that. But it's just not feasible, and it's just not reality here in 2024. We as a music industry, as guitar players, just don't do that anymore, because we're not in Motley Crue making millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars so we can go, you know, just blow it on like cool stuff, right? Like, it's just, that market's just, you know, that's not a thing anymore. You know, we have to be very cost effective. Gas is expensive. You know, trying to lug this thing around with a trailer, you know, it just all doesn't make sense, unfortunately. Like I said, I'm team tube amps, but, you know, now having the ability to play shows and tour, you know, going out on tour here in like 2 or 3 weeks with For the Fallen Dreams, I'm bringing the exact same setup that I had in the fall, which is my quad Cortex running into a power amp and then some 4x12s, right? So I love that setup, and I love the band setup and how they operate and all that stuff. So like, it's all a win for me. It's just, you know, long story short, man, like, in a year's time, I missed this thing, but, you know, it is what it is. I love using modelers. It's quick, it's easy, it's efficient, cost effective, and anything in between, okay? So everybody, that's going to do it for this video. What do you guys think of my thoughts and opinions and my reflection on not using a tube amplifier for an entire year? I would love to hear from you guys down below in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Like I said, dude, if you totally disagree with me, that's totally cool. Like, I'm not here to fight. You know what I mean? Like, we're just talking. And if you agree with me, that's cool too, man. You know, this isn't like a popularity contest. We're just talking, okay? Anyway, everybody, be sure to like this video. Be sure to follow me on Spotify. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much in advance. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.